I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Monee Village Board for September 28th, 2016. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mayor, okay.
Sure. Just admonished by Trustee Holston, I concur. Just as a matter of respect for the family of one of our officials, I'd like to take a moment to just a moment of silence on behalf of the Gonzalez family, who has recently endured a great loss.
Trustee Gonzalez will not be here. Trustee Gray?
Here.
Holston?
Here.
Horn?
Here.
Pop?
Here.
And Racick?
Present.
At this point in the meeting, we go to open to the public agenda items only. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Come to the podium and give your name and address, please. Okay. Next, we have the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Horn and Raisik. Roll call, please.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Holston?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Pop?
Yes.
And Racick?
Yes.
Mr. Clerk, do you have
No reports.
Under the mayor's report, you'll notice that we have a development agreement that has been worked on, been reviewed by council. It was getting down to the wire. Wish we could have had it to you, out to you sooner. What I would like is I would like the authorization. I'm looking for seeking an authorization for the approval of the redevelopment agreement, and this is pertaining to the Dollar General. But in case there's, for some reason, there's any kind of a nuance in there that, in a rush to get it done, I'd like to give the staff and council an opportunity if for some reason there's some reason to withhold that for further review. Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve the redevelopment agreement for the Dollar General.
So moved. Second.
Holston and Razor?
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
Where are we in that? Are we still negotiating?
No, it's at the finalization of the negotiation, but there was a last minute passing of information between council, and we know what was expected. We just want to make sure that those expectations were true. It wasn't our council that actually wrote the agreement, it was their council, and we want to get something in your hands so they can get it passed this week instead of waiting another.
So the paperwork we have that we reviewed will not be substantially changed?
Correct.
Not coming back?
Correct, correct. I believe everything's in there, but as much as I scrutinize everything, Kevin does as well, I know. I just want to give that last little ability. Barring any concerns by staff or council, I'd like authorization to approve this. So that was first by Holston, second by Raisik. Roll call, please.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Horn?
Yes.
Pop,
Yes.
Raisik,
Yes.
and Gray.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Administrator's report. I'm sorry, if I could, I want to go back under, I know, under the officials report, which would be next. I do want to bring up, I know many of us had the opportunity to attend IML, and one such thing that, one of the takeaways that I got from there was, and I think a couple of the trustees may have had the opportunity to interact with this information. There is in front of you, we just got it emailed to us today, so I didn't have a chance to put it in your packets at a time. We're not going to vote on it today. This is just for your ability to digest this. In talking to the building services department, public works superintendent, council, etc., there is a mechanism that is implemented in other communities that we were previously not aware of. That's one of the benefits of going to a municipal league conference. You get to learn a lot of best practices from other communities. This particular practice had to do with creating, for lack of a better way to describe it, a registry of foreclosed properties. And as such, the benefit to that is more often than not, the problems that we have from code enforcement compliance as it relates to properties that the grass is growing too wild, the buildings are being in disrepair. Not always, but a lot of times you see a higher propensity to that in those properties. What this would do is it would allow the village to not have a cost for maintaining the registry. It would be a third party that would be the registry keeper and collector. The mechanism in place here, as talking to the vendor that was presenting this idea, would be there would be approximately a $100 fee that they would charge for maintaining the registry database per listed foreclosed property. The village, more likely than that, would charge something in around $500 for the fee itself. They would retain their $100. The other $400 would then get passed on to the village once they had collected that. What it does, aside from the fee schedule on that, is it actually streamlines for the building department so that they have readily available information on not just who the title property owner is, but it also gives them the information at hand to know who the keeper of the property is in the case of a property that is not completely gone through the process and changed to completely bank-owned. So where we have a problem sometimes locating the responsible party, this makes it easier for us. Or whether it's there's a handful of different mortgage companies that we deal with at times, but it makes it a lot easier. The other thing it does is by having that list made available and us being able to subscribe to that more easily. For the police department, as an example, one of the problems you run into is if you do have a foreclosure, oftentimes people end up vandalizing or stealing the copper and other things out of the property. This allows the police to have kind of a list to keep in the back of their mind as they're out driving around and they see things. Hey, there's not supposed to be somebody there moving everything out in the middle of the night. There's not anybody living there. And they actually know that's on a watch list. So that minimizes some of the damage and ultimately creates even more blight in an area that you wouldn't have had it otherwise. This is just in front of you here. This is not our ordinance. This is a sample that they've used in another town. They tossed it at us just to let us review it. It's just an example of some of the things you take away from going to a conference like that, and I just use that as an example. So that'll be for the trustees to evaluate in an upcoming committee meeting as to whether they want to move forward with it or how they want to deal with it. But that's just one of those things.
Discussion?
Yes, sir.
The vacation building ordinance, is that the one you're talking about, meeting?
It would look like this. This is the one that was
No, I saw that, but there was one of the sessions that I attended was vacant building ordinance, excuse me.
This actually is a registry of foreclosed properties, which is different, and there might be similar mechanisms. I mean, you get different people, present similar ideas.
There was a similar one that I attended that talked about vacant property regulations, and there's an ordinance they provided that I'll visit with you later.
And it does, and David, I know that you've been involved with the champion, the landlord licensing as well as the nuisance aspect of things. And before we move forward with this, I want to make sure, if anybody else has gathered it, and say, David, if you've got something, we'll review all of those by council to make sure that we're taking the best of those and putting them together so we don't have to revisit it again. But it seems like a win-win for us. It puts it at our fingertips as compared to, having to scrounge around and try to find out, well, who's currently responsible for this? They did send us a sample list. I don't want to share that with everybody only because, there's all sorts of reasons why people might have a financial hardship and might be going through a foreclosure for one reason or another, and I don't want to disclose that, for any of those reasons, because you never know. But for the purpose of helping the building services department, the police, different ones manage and meet the expectations of what needs to take place, I think it's something worth considering. So, and then David, if you've got another one, let's put those two together and try to figure out, how we can blend those together if need be. That's probably one of the biggest takeaways I had from the event was find out another best practice we can find a way to implement. So at this point, we'll move to the officials report. Trustee Gray with Public Works.
I have no report tonight.
Let's get Parks and Rec for this evening. Do we have anything that we need to address there? Finance, Trustee Horn.
Yes, I have a couple things, and I just wanted to add a little bit to the session at the conference we were at. I went to one on finances, and it was on financial transparency. I just want to remind everyone that our warrant list, which means the check register of who we send checks out to and so forth, that's all public knowledge, and that is on our website. If you download the packet of information, you will see that. Some other things, forms for the the property tax refund program will be available next month, so we're working on that. And then each trustee has been provided a financial dashboard chart, and if you take a look at that, within the chart, the following information. Property taxes collected for this fiscal year are 85.77% of taxes extended. So we do have, which is on track for end of September. Major revenue sources for May 16 through September 16 preliminary. Those are on this financial dashboard as well. Expense budget comparison. We are at 37.18 of budgeted expenses for the general fund. And then something else that we're looking at to help control our healthcare costs. The Villages in the Works is looking at a wellness program in partnership with Riverside Health. And this can be helpful, as I said, for controlling healthcare costs, but also promoting individual health. And that is for full-time employees and part-time employees. So details to follow on that as well. End of report.
Thank you very much. Business Development, Trustee Holston.
I'm going to use my time to test.
You're good.
Sorry. I want to use my time to review some of the sessions I attended, if you don't mind, Mr. Mayor.
Absolutely.
I attended 13 different sessions during last week. Some of the ones that were significant from my perspective, the land use and zoning update. There's been some recent rulings on content-based versus content-neutral signs, liberal signs. This is something we'll probably want to visit with our zoning committee about. Basically, it's saying if you need to read the sign to apply the sign, then it's content-based, and there's a lot of restrictions on content-based that have recently been through judicial ruling coming forward. I attended one on medical cannabis. I'm not sure why I attended it, but it seemed like a lot of fun. FOIA and OMA in the Internet Age, which was an interesting one. Another one that I attended that I thought was pretty good, and I'll visit with zoning people on that. There's a sign ordinance and regulation. Is your sign ordinance and regulation constitutional? And there's a number of things there that came out that I was not aware of. Ethical requirements for public officials. I was grateful to be able to attend the opening general session and hear former Governor Jim Edgar talk about the 3 C's, returning to civility, learning to compromise, and having compassion. I thought that was pretty good. The future of retail, bricks versus clicks. I did a good job, particularly in light of Amazon coming out here, talking about the future and how they do actually work with each other and don't actually conflict. I did attend, at the same time, about half of that period, I went to the vacant building ordinance session and got some good information there that I'll pass on to some of my compatriots here. The only municipal handbook question and answer period I attended for a few minutes due to another conflict. Roundtable with other council members from other villages showed me that we're not doing that bad of a job here. Listening to some of the other council members from other villages talk about some of their issues, I felt pretty good that we're doing some things right here. Ingredients for a true community collaboration was a good one on working with other, both governmental, residential, retail, and other interests to have cooperative things happening in the communities. Was very good. Branding and driving our economic development was another good one that I attended. And then making zoning and development rules user-friendly. All in all, very good session, I thought. Probably my problem was too many of them were at the same time. I couldn't go to all of them, but it was very good. A lot of focus on economic development and retail things that were going on in the area. Some very good speakers. Well worth the time, I thought.
Trustee Olson, let me just compliment you, if I may. You know, I don't take it lightly, and I know we've had conversations about this, that when the officials or staff take time out of their schedules to go to an event like that, and the taxpayers are subsidizing it, I hats off to you and a great appreciation for the fact that you diligently applied yourself and grabbed every opportunity to learn as much as you could to bring it back. And I know you and Trustee Horn especially have both been champions of that, and I know others are still learning. I hope that influence is contagious. But thank you very much, both of you guys especially. Thank you. Next we have Building Services with Trustee Pop.
I have no report, but I'd like to make a couple of comments if I may.
Sure.
I feel building services, if we have a new development coming into the community, I should be involved, as I was with Doug.
Okay.
I was at the original meeting and I discussed some things with him, made some comments, and learned a lot about what was going on. Well, since then, and that's probably a couple of years ago, I haven't been at any meeting at any new, whether it's a video gaming thing or whatever it may be. I don't know when they have meetings, I'm not informed. I went over to Amazon and was promptly told they wouldn't talk to me, that I had to talk to the mayor. I don't think that's right. My job is to be informed about those projects and end of comments.
Okay. Do you want me to answer any of those?
No.
I didn't think you did. Okay, next we have Public Safety with Trustee Razor.
I've got a few things. First from the Police Department. The Monee Police Department participated in 3 interagency deployments to enhance public safety at village events in the past 20 days. They included Fall Fest 2016, where officers worked cooperatively with Monee EMA personnel and the Will County Sheriff's Auxiliary deputies to provide a safe environment for the festival. They also deployed our Monee Police Explorers as observers to add value to their training and their experience as police explorers here. The Kelly Miller Circus, again working with the Monee EMA agency to provide traffic control and site security. And the Second Place Church Run for Their Lives 5K Run Walk, again working with Monee EMA agency to provide traffic control and a safe course for the runners and walkers. Each of these deployments were tremendously successful. And then on for EMA. September was a busy month for the EMA team as they added traffic control support for the Monee Police Department during the Fall Fest weekend, the Kelly Miller Circus weekend, and the Run for Their Lives 5K race event. EMA volunteers worked as a combined total of 190 hours during Fall Fest. The volunteers worked at a combined total of 68 hours during the circus event, and the volunteers worked at a combined total of 20 hours for the 5K event, for a grand total of 278 hours worked in September. Monee EMA would also like to recognize and send a special thank you to the Will County EMA Agency Director, Harold Damon, and staff for the assistance they have provided with the use of their incident command vehicle and the volunteers during the past 4 Fall Fest events. The command vehicle has also provided added ground support through the use of the radio communication system and other technology resources. This has been an invaluable resource for the EMA team. End of report for EMA. And just one more thing since Heidi's not here. Halloween Happenings is happening Saturday, October 29th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Fireman's Park. We're looking for businesses and individuals that want to be part of Trunk or Treat during Halloween Happenings. Come decorate your car, van, or truck, dress up in a not-so-scary costume, and bring enough candy for approximately 200 kids. We're giving out prizes for the best decorated trunk and costume participant. For more information, you can call the village at 708-534-8302. End of report.
Any idea whether it's going to snow that day or not this year?
Probably. Maybe the past few years, but.
Right. I know, was it a couple years ago, we had sleigh rides instead of air rides, Attorney Gutreski was not able to join us tonight. I don't believe there's anything that he needed. I will advise you that I believe for the next meeting, we will have the opportunity to go to executive session if need be, but final review, and I believe we are at a place with the collective bargaining agreement that, based on the expectations of the board, and they were received with favorably, I believe, Chief. So I believe we'll have an agreement to move forward with it the next meeting. That'll be for the police collective bargaining agreement. So that's good news to know that we're moving forward on that. Nothing else for the attorney's report though specifically. Anything under old business? Anything under new business? At this point, we'll go to open to the public non-agenda items. If you come to the podium, provide your name and address and limit your comments to about 3 minutes if you would, please. Anybody? We have nothing for executive session. The time is now 6:59. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Raisik and Horn. Any discussion? Roll call.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
Pop,
Yes.
Raisik,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
and Austin. Yes.